welcome back to my kitchen. I'm Jamie Jan, non-toxic farm mom. I know it has been a while since I have had a YouTube video for you guys. I'm sorry. Life has been busy and crazy and fun, and I'm so blessed by all of it. But today I'm super excited. I have been wanting to share this information with you for quite some time. And so I am going to talk to you about dehydrating today. So how many of you have a dehydrator? How many of you have dehydrated in your oven? Okay, you can do both. And I want to talk to you about that today. How many of you are like, why in the world would I want to dehydrate anything? That used to be me. I was like, why would we want to dehydrate anything? And then we started our little homestead, and I quickly realized a couple of things, and I want to share them with you because even if you do not have a homestead or you do not have access to farming or anything like that, you will find dehydrating super beneficial. The number one reason that I dehydrate is because there's never enough room in my freezer. Okay, most of us don't have access to a lot of freezer space. I'm blessed. I have a chest freezer. I have 2 other refrigerators in the garage that have freezer space, but not everybody has that. And so when you dehydrate things, you have them forever. Okay. Also, I dehydrate because of power outages, right? If the power is out for an extended period of time, you can lose whatever is in your freezer. And if you have dehydrated things on hand, then you are good to go. So today we are going to talk about dehydrating and how easy it is, and it's going to blow your mind. Okay, so here on the farm, there are a few things that I have learned over the last several years. The first of which is I like to take our fresh vegetables, those that we're not eating, and I like to can them. Sometimes I like to freeze them, but I typically use my freezer space for meat if I can. But I learned really quickly that dehydrating the things that I get from my garden takes a little extra work because there's an extra step where you need to blanch things. And so I thought making a video about dehydrating frozen vegetables that you can buy right from your own grocery store would be super beneficial, because I know a lot of you that are following along on the non-toxic farm journey might not have a farm, might not have a garden, might not have access to fresh vegetables, but this is something that you can do. And while I'm not a super big prepper, I do believe that this is one of those things that any family can do, super inexpensive, super practical. Even if you don't have a dehydrator like the one I'm going to show you, you can dehydrate in your oven, okay? And I actually tested that out last week because we actually have a brand new oven that is super fancy to me, and it has a dehydrating feature on it. So you can dehydrate in any oven. It doesn't have to be one that has a dehydrating feature. So I think this is something that is super practical for every family to have some dehydrated vegetables or fruits on hand. And you're like, what do I do with these, right? Well, I will show you. So this is my mixed vegetable jar of veggies. It's obviously a little bit low, so I need to restock it. But if you have some glass canning jars, some mason jars, some lids, and I like to use the moisture packets that help remove moisture from to keep them moisture free. These, I will put this link and any of the links of things that I use on Amazon for you. I get a lot of these things from Amazon. In fact, I just ordered another bag of these today. These are super inexpensive. I think you get like 100 or 200 of these for like $9, okay? And they're good for other things besides dehydrated vegetables and fruits as well. Okay, so I like to keep this jar clear full. And when I do my vegetables, you guys, I use these in soups, in casseroles, in things that I would typically use frozen vegetables with. Sometimes you just have to use a little bit more water. So these are super great to have on hand. For a busy mom like me, these have come in super handy when I'm making chicken pot pie or you know, a casserole or a soup. I can just take out a cup full, throw it in, and voila, I'm done, okay? It's also super helpful, like I said, if the power goes out for an extended period of time and you lose some of the things in your refrigerator. I have just seen so many families lose things in their freezers and their refrigerators. And if you have some that are dehydrated, it will prevent you from losing all of that. So I'm a super big believer in dehydrating vegetables. So I just keep mine in jars. So that was my mixed vegetables. Here are my green beans. Here's corn. But you can also do fruit. And you can do fruit from frozen fruit from bags in the store. So the other day I was cleaning out the refrigerator and the freezer in our house, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's so much stuff in here. And there was an old bag of frozen pineapple chunks and an older bag of frozen mango chunks. And you guys, they even had some I won't say freezer burn, but they had some frost buildup. Nobody was using them. I'm like, this is silly. Let's get them out of the freezer. But I didn't want to waste it, and so I dehydrated it, okay? And dehydrated fruit is super yummy. It actually is, brings out the sugar content, I think, and so it's a little bit, I don't know, it tastes sweeter to me than it does if you eat the frozen fruit. But these are also good to have on hand in emergencies, along with some jerky. If you can't cook or something happens, heaven forbid that the grid goes down or something like that, you've got some dehydrated snacks and things as well. So you can do this really inexpensively. Even if you do not garden or farm, you can do this. And you can literally just pick up bags of frozen vegetables. These are from Walmart, my least favorite store in the world. If you get to know me very well and you follow along on my journey, you know that I do most of my shopping at my favorite online non-toxic shopping club. But every once in a while, I have to set foot into Walmart. I try not to. I try to go to Aldi's or someplace else, and Walmart is not my favorite place. But anyway, you can pick up these bags of frozen vegetables. I don't have any mixed ones here because today on the dehydrator, I'm gonna do 4 trays. I'm gonna do 2 trays of corn and 2 trays of green beans to hopefully refill my jars, okay? But these were like 77 cents for a bag of green beans. I think I paid 84 cents for the corn. Mixed vegetables, the smaller packs are under $1. So it's a great way to do something on a budget and have something healthier in your home that is gonna always be available. Mixed vegetables, I will tell you, if you can find a 5-pound bag of mixed frozen vegetables, it will fill this jar, okay? This is a half gallon mason jar. And typically that's what I do, but I will tell you, I don't know if it's supply chain issues. It has been hard to find the bigger bags of frozen vegetables. So I've been having to buy them in like the little steamable 1-pound, just regular size bags. But if you can find the bigger bags, or if you can score your favorite brand on sale, this is a great way. I mean, you can still put some in the freezer, but this is a great way to make sure that you have some dehydrated vegetables on hand. All right, so we are gonna get started. I use a Nesco dehydrator. I've had this for several years. It was a Christmas present. I'm so glad. We do fruits, we do vegetables. I do some herbs on here. We do jerky. We make our own rabbit jerky from our rabbit meat. And so we do a lot of things on here. It's been super handy. This brand, honestly, I will put a link below, but this brand is probably outdated. They probably have a fancier, nicer one, but I like the round one. It stores well. They have bigger, fancier ones that cost a lot more. I think this is probably in the $50 or $60 range. And it works for me and for my family. It comes with a bottom and 4 trays. So you'll see it comes with a bottom and 4 trays. All right, and the trays look like this. So these are great, for meat, for big things. I bought the liners. There are 2 different types of liners. These are actually made for like fruit roll-ups, if you're gonna make like you can smash it all out and so it doesn't go through. But I like them for my vegetables because it keeps the corn and the peas from getting so small that they go through the bottom. All right, so I'm back. Sorry. I am doing video on my phone today and people keep trying to reach me, and I swiped up and y'all were gone. So anyway, I was showing you the different liners that you can get for your trays. So this is one that I love to use. It's mesh. This is a solid one. And you're like, what would you use a solid one for if you're dehydrating? Well, I have actually dehydrated eggs, believe it or not. You can dehydrate eggs and turn them into a powder, and then you can rehydrate them later. Some people use milk, like if you are a farmer and you have goats or you have cows and you have overabundance of milk, you could dehydrate milk. It takes a little bit longer. Sometimes I just like to use these you can use them for your vegetables to keep them from falling through. So these are all things that you can add in, and I will put the links down. I actually have 6 trays for mine because I went and purchased 2 more so that I could be dehydrating more at a time. So what's great about your Nesco is it has the different temperatures. So it will tell you right on here. Okay, down here it'll give you a guide. Okay, so if you're doing herbs and spices, 85 degrees. Nuts and seeds, crafts, you can use this for some of your crafting needs. Fruits and vegetables, meats, fish, and jerky. Okay, so there are different temperatures depending on what you are dehydrating. If you're going to do dehydrating in your oven and you just want to give it a try and see what you think, it will take a little bit longer because most ovens don't have a fan that goes constantly that's blowing that heat and circulating it through. That's the good thing about the dehydrator. Even my oven that is brand spanking new, it took a lot longer. But if you're gonna dehydrate in the oven, really all you need is a cookie sheet and some parchment paper. Or I used a baking stone because then it's getting the heat from both sides. You can do your preference, whatever you have on hand. You don't have to go out and spend like a ton of extra money, but you do want the parchment paper, and then you can just put your veggies on it and stick it in at 175, okay, 175 degrees. If you do not have a dehydrating option on your oven, 175 degrees, you're gonna wanna, every hour or so give it a little stir, give it a little shake, move them around. But it is probably gonna take a lot longer. You want them to be completely dehydrated, no water, because you don't wanna put something in a jar that isn't, like this. Oops, sorry, my camera's over here. Hold on, let me do this. Like, can you see how they just snap? They're so dry. Okay, these are green beans. You want them to be dry. Okay, and I would still put a moisture absorber packet in with them just to be safe. But dehydrated veggies are gonna last you a very long time and be very cost effective and just there in case of an emergency. You know, maybe you're thinking, Jamie, I would never use this. I don't cook every night for my family. I'm a busy mom. You know, we don't do those kind of things. That's fine, but it might be nice to have some on hand for emergencies. So let's get to it. All right, we are going to get started and we're gonna load up the dehydrator. All right, here we go. So I am literally just gonna take my bag of beans. Hopefully you guys can see. All right, I've got my camera there, and I am literally just gonna open them up. And I have the bottom of my tray. Ooh, it has some leftover juice in it. You can see that I didn't clean it. This just catches things, okay? That's all it's for. So I did some pineapple the other day. That's probably the pineapple juice. So I am literally gonna set one tray on top. And like I told you, I like to use the mesh ones the best because they keep vegetables from falling through, but they still allow all of that air to circulate, the hot air. And I'm literally just gonna dump my frozen beans on here. Now, if you have a garden and you do a lot of your own gardening, A, you probably already have a dehydrator. B, you might can things like I do. I like to can my green beans straight from the garden. But if you have so many that you're like, oh my gosh, I'm tired of canning, or you've already put some in the freezer and then you're out of space, you can dehydrate your own green beans. You can wash them, snap them, rinse them off, but you're going to need to have an extra step of blanching them in the middle just to help kill some of those germs and make sure there's no bacteria that's going to build up before you get them on the dehydrator. So there is that extra step, but because these have already been flash frozen, they can just go straight onto your dehydrator. So we are going to do it this way. I think most people who who preserve and do their own canning. And ooh, that one has a stem. Do you see it? Oops, I missed it. I'm gonna go ahead and dehydrate it and we'll pull the stem off later. I think most people who do their own canning and freezing already probably know all about a dehydrator, but in case you're new to farming or homesteading, hopefully this will be helpful for you in that area. Okay, so I have 2 trays of green beans, and now I'm going to put 2 trays of corn. So we're just gonna open up our corn. I hope that some of you moms, especially busy moms, you know, that cook meals and want to, maybe you're, you know, like me, I'm a swim mom, so I like to have meals ready and ahead of time and ready to go. And you know, sometimes you just don't want to use the slow cooker, or you know, you forgot to buy the vegetables that you needed. Oops, that one went down in the middle. Did you see that? So this would be a handy way just to have things on hand that you can just, like I said, scoop out, make some vegetable soup, make some chicken pot pie. I use them just like I would use frozen or fresh vegetables. Sometimes it will require a little more liquid because you've got to rehydrate, reconstitute those dried products. All right, I have to find another tray. Oh, here's one. Okay, so we're gonna put this one on top, and we're gonna do our last bag of frozen corn. I feel like there's a lot more corn in here. I know it's by weight, but there's a lot more corn than beans. Okay, and then I just kind of even it out to make sure there's not like a big lump in one spot. Okay, that way it dehydrates a little bit more evenly. And then y'all, you just like put the lid on, plug it in. My outlet's behind me, so I'm not gonna be able to plug it in while I'm talking to you. Plug it in, make sure it's set for fruits and vegetables, which is 135 degrees, which this is probably backwards for y'all, so I'll turn it around. 135 degrees, plug it in, let it go. If I start it first thing in the morning, it's usually, you know, done mid-afternoon. I just let it go. Sometimes I'll start it at night and I will let it go overnight. And then in the morning, I just add it to my jars. So whatever, see, this is corn. So I just add it to my corn jar. These 2 should fill it up. So you can see it's gonna take about 4 bags. This is 2 bags of corn already in here. So it's gonna take about 4 bags of corn for my quart size jar. So it really does make storage a little bit easier too. You're not taking up as much room. I plop one of my moisture packets in the middle or in the inside of it. I label the top of it, and we are ready to go. Okay, the dehydrator is going. Can you hear it? The dehydrator is going. I'm gonna let it go, and then when we are finished, I will come back and I will show you how much we get to fill our jars and answer any questions you have. But make sure that you are subscribed to the Nontoxic Farm Mom channel so you don't miss any more fun tidbits that will help you have a more non-toxic lifestyle and just easy, healthy things on a budget. That is my passion for sharing with all of you. I'm so grateful that you're following along on this journey. You can go to my website, Jamie Jan, Non-Toxic Farm Mom. You can find some freebies there. Those freebies are about to change, so if you haven't grabbed my elderberry syrup recipe, make sure you go grab it because it's going to disappear over the holidays and something else that's fun and yummy will take its place. You can find me there. You can find me at Jamie Jan Non-Toxic Farm Mom on Facebook, on Instagram. So make sure you're following along. Again, I will put the links for everything I used, the moisture packets, the dehydrator, the things that I have used in this video that might be helpful for you if you're just getting started. I will put them below. The links will be below for you to click on. Comment, let me know what your favorite thing to dehydrate is, because there are some things that my girls and I were talking about the other day that we haven't done yet that we heard is super yummy, kiwi being one of those. But if you are already a master dehydrator or if you have tips and tricks, drop them below because we want everybody to learn. Dehydrating is something that's fun for me, it's practical, it helps my family, and I hope it helps all of you. So thank you guys again for joining me, and I'll be back when the corn and the beans have sufficiently dehydrated. right, you guys, we are done. Here is the dehydrated corn, both trays, and here are the dehydrated beans. I left them, I just went out shopping with my daughter for the day, left them and let them do their thing. And so now we are ready to put them into the jars, throw in the little moisture packets, and they will be ready for me to use in whatever dish I want. So I think dehydrating is awesome, and I hope you will too. All right, that's it, you guys. Look, one full quart-sized jar of green beans, dehydrated, ready to use. One full-size quart-sized jar of dehydrated corn, ready to use. So they will get labeled. We will use this in our soups, our casseroles, in emergency purposes, and I will be working on refilling my mixed vegetables. I like having them all mixed up right here. So that will be on the agenda soon. I love dehydrating. I hope it was helpful for all of you. If you have never dehydrated before, I hope you will give it a try. I hope that you will find it helpful just in daily life, but also helpful to have some things stored up in case of emergencies. I hope you find it as cost effective as we do. And then I hope you feel some relief in just knowing, hey, you know what? I don't have to have a big garden, or I don't have to be somebody who cans a lot of food to be able to also use a dehydrator. And you don't even have to have your dehydrator. Remember, you can use your oven, 175 degrees, spread it out on a cookie sheet on parchment paper or a baking stone on parchment paper. It will take a little bit longer, but you can do this in your oven. So thanks for following along, you guys. I am so thrilled that you are on this non-toxic journey with us. I hope that my videos on YouTube are helpful, that you're learning something, that you might just be inspired to realize that you can make one small change, just one small change a week, and it can help your family have a non-toxic home. You can bring safer products in, you can shop safer and smarter, you can do things for a fraction of the cost and not feel like you are depleting your family's budget just to be healthy. So that is my passion, and my mission is to help educate you on all of these things that you and your family can do to have a non-toxic home, all the way from shopping at a healthier place to maybe having a small garden to making your own things. And I am so grateful that you are on this journey with us. So don't forget to click subscribe if you haven't. Help me grow my channel. Click subscribe. The links for the dehydrator and the things that I used, the moisture packets, will be in the description below, so you can click on them and have easy access to them. Share this with your friends. Share this with your family. And again, thanks for following along, and don't forget to head over to my website, JamieJan.NontoxicFarmMom.com. You can pick up that free elderberry syrup recipe. It's not going to be there after Christmas. I'm going to change it up, and there's going to be some new things, and all the links of all the places you can find us and follow along with Non-Toxic Farm Mom and our Little Bit of Faith Farm will be there for you to click on. Thanks, you guys. Have an amazing day. And thanks again. Drop your comments below. Let me know what your favorite things are to dehydrate, or if you've never dehydrated something, what you are going to start with.